timer. Where's it gone? Ah, it's gone. I've just gone brain fart. It's just gone, what? Anyway, what is happening? Okay, guys. Okay, guys, this is Cosplay Togs and all things nerdy back again, and will probably be a blooper because apparently I've lost all the will to say words out of my mouth. We are here as usual with we're here with Darren, iPhoto UK, myself, Switch underscore GN, and we are here with the lovely little Miss Annikins as well. Say hello.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Flattered. I'm very excited.
We are excited to have you as well. We did have a plan for this episode. It's kind of got a bit pear-shaped, so we're just going to ramble on and waffle on about anything. Bits, bobs, geeky stuff. Probably just get us rambling on about anything, really. So yeah, so we're going to crack on, really. How's everyone's Easter going so far, this long weekend?
Not really done much, to be fair, apart from start getting stuff ready for my holiday and spending a ridiculous amount of money.
In Pandora?
Yeah.
Mine's been lovely. Family time, eating my body weight in chocolate cheese, drinking beer, loving life.
Oh, yeah, I will say I've drunk way too much alcohol this weekend.
I think I'm the only one out of us that hasn't drank alcohol then, because I don't know the last time I touched alcohol, actually.
Good egg.
Probably SecretCon?
Wow, that is a long time ago.
I don't drink much when I'm at home. Not anymore. But hey. Okay, so what sort of geeky stuff should we talk about today then? Should we talk anything about TV, films, games?
Well, since we're recording on a Monday, why don't we start with The Last of Us Season 2?
I'm going to have to let you deal with that because I've only just caught up with Season 1.
I haven't started Season 2.
Yeah. Oh my God, in which case I won't give you any spoilers. I mean, I've only watched the first
one.
episode.
How many episodes have come out?
2, I think.
The second one's out today.
Yeah.
Second one's out today. So, yeah. I mean, I've never actually played the games because I was never really a PlayStation person. I've always been Xbox. But I've had a lot of involvement with Last of Us stuff, with like working with Spores on some bits and pieces, and so I've had quite a few spoilers already from Last of Us Part 2. So I kind of know quite a lot of what's gonna come up, but it's a case of like when and how. And
well, I know that they've broken their Season 2 is broken down. Well, it's broken down. I think the second game.
Yeah, they've broken The Last of Us Part 2 down into 2 seasons. So The Last of Us Part 1 they did in 1 season, but this one they're breaking into 2, I think. So
yeah,
it's going to be fun.
I need to catch up.
I do. I've only just caught up with Season 1 because we haven't had Sky for ages, so we've literally just got it back in again. So we're just literally catching up with all sorts of stuff at the minute.
This is my problem. I piggyback Sky Go on my iPad from my mum and dad, so I can only watch it on my iPad. So I'm like, it's just not the best viewing experience.
I just use Now TV. I just subscribe to Now TV because it's nice and easy.
Maybe I'll wait till it all comes out, subscribe, watch it, cancel, boom.
Yeah.
Risk a million spoilers during that time, though, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not exactly too much spoilers because I mean the game's been out for a while, which is the story. So
yeah, exactly.
It's only if they ever go away from the game that you'll end up getting
doubt they would
issues.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to stray too far away from it.
Well, it means that they have to stick with there might have to just be 3 seasons then, and that'll be it. But it seems like TV's going down that route anyway, where we only have a handful of seasons for a show anyway. Sometimes that's all it needs. It's like, I think I was having a chat with a few people. It's like sometimes. So I was on the shoot with Amy and Char, and they're doing 100. So I don't know if you've seen the 100. I was on Amazon. If you haven't seen it, it's like a post-apocalyptic thing, and they sent like 100 kids from space back down to Earth because Earth was uninhabitable blah blah blah. So we were doing that shoot, but we were talking about it. It's like the series was really good at a certain point, and they like the last 2 seasons just were like pointless. There wasn't very much there, and I was just like, that's a shame. It just feels like they sometimes shows just go on just for the sake of going on.
Yeah, exactly.
Just burning out. So maybe 3 seasons is all we need for The Last of Us, maybe.
Mm.
But yeah.
Hey, what else have I been watching? The Bondsman.
Huh?
The Bondsman was good. I finished watching that recently on Prime with Kevin Bacon.
Oh, okay, yeah. I saw the trailer for that. That did look interesting.
Yeah, it's like it's right up my street. It's like not post-apocalyptic as such, but it's a kind of like a bit supernatural in a way. So it's like demons and all that kind of jazz. Yeah, it's really cool. Really worth a watch. And I'm hoping they do a season 2, which I think they are. Just no date for it yet.
I mean, Annie, did you watch Daredevil by any chance? Are you still gonna?
I'm literally the shittest person in the universe. Let's just put that out there.
What, for
I'm
cats or TV?
so crap at watching stuff. I haven't even finished watching Invincible.
I mean, I haven't finished that either. I've started that and I'm into with that. I was about to say, should we talk about? Do we want to say anything about Daredevil?
I mean, I'm all caught up. And yeah, it was like freaking amazing.
It was a very emotional day for me that day because I also finished a book as well, which had a very massive cliffhanger. So I had that then mixed in with Born Again, which then gave me feels, and I was like, oh my god, this is too much of an emotional day for me. I can't handle anymore now.
So I need to watch it then, basically. Is
Well,
what
especially if you're coming in as part of the helping us with the Daredevil project as well. Ideally, it would be quite good for you to catch up on at least Born Again.
Okay, it's on the list. It's on the list.
It's on the list. You have probably have until the end of the year, probably before that one.
Oh, fine. That's all good.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. We watched anything new?
I've just not watched. I'm not gonna lie. My time is being sunk into that costume, so because I have to concentrate, I can't watch stuff at the same time. So I haven't really. I can't even think the last series I actually just sat and.
I watched the new Statham film the weekend, The Working Man. That was really, really good.
And that was done by the same people that did Beekeeper as well, which was also a very good Jason Statham film. He definitely, and this is what we were saying the other day, though, wasn't it? It's like Jason Statham is kind of that action hero from like the late 90s, early 2000s, kind of brought back into sort of now. It's like he seems to be doing that sort of thing, and it's, I wouldn't say it's like massively blockbustery, but it's entertaining enough to watch.
Yeah, definitely. I also watched In the Lost Lands last week with Mila Jovovich and Dave Bautista.
Oh yeah,
which is quite interesting. It's like
that's the Resident Evil lot, wasn't it? That made that they did that one as well.
Yeah, and it's the whole thing's very like Monster Hunter-esque. Yeah, it's just really kind of hard to describe without giving any spoilers, but.
Well, from the trailer, it looked very much like a mixture between sort of Monster Hunters, Resident Evil, and a bit of. Did you ever watch? I want to say Priest with Paul Bettany.
Yeah, with kind of like a bit of a Mad Max thrown in as well for good measure.
That's what I kind of got the vibe from the trailer as well.
Yeah.
So that looks. I do want to see that, but I'm also a big fan of like the Resident Evil films. I sat and watched them again about a couple of months ago. I just thought
I watched the first one of the weekend actually.
I just had a binge session on them a while back, so I just thought, seen them before. If I edit and I watch at the same time, then I don't miss anything.
No,
but I haven't really watched much new apart from sort of catching up with Daredevil. Obviously, we watched Reacher season 3. I think we touched on that one in the last episode, and then I've just boasted. Steph's happy because now I've done the Imperium series, which is the Fourth Wing Iron Flame and Onyx Storm books, which has been rather interesting.
Nice.
They were quite good fun actually. I just was like, oh okay. did a lot of driving because I came out to MegaCon where we met up on the Sunday. And I thought, you know what, I've got a 2-hour drive on my own. Let's put a book on. Listen to that. I got really into it within like the first 2 minutes of it, and I just got hooked and fixed on that book franchise. And I basically just sat down and binge listened to about 3 audiobooks whilst editing, because I can at least still do stuff when I'm listening to audiobooks at least. So it's like I'm doing work and bits and pieces, and there was another event, so I got another 2-hour drive from that one. Well, 5-hour drive by the time I got home, and so I was like, I managed to cram a lot of audio listening in. But if you haven't listened to them, and you're like sort of fantasy dragons and bits and pieces like that, and a little bit of spice thrown in as well, then
you're talking.
He's talking.
I've never listened to an audiobook.
Really?
No.
I don't know. There is like some stories where I think I'll prefer to read, but generally I prefer an audiobook. Because like you, Tom, I could just get other things done.
I'd struggle with read the concept of like just sitting down with a book. One, I can't sit still long enough. It's like even here on a podcast, I sit and fiddle. I have to have something where I'm fiddling with something. Yeah, there's but the thing is like with an audiobook, it's like I can kind of get lost in my head and like completely zone out and away from things. It's a bit like what gaming does for me. If I get into a really good game, I could just, especially a good story game, I just get lost in it, and that's essentially what I did with this. As soon as I find an audiobook that I love and I just get into, and away I go. But now I'm stuck waiting for the next book to come out, which will be for freaking ages at this point. So now I'm a bit upset. That's why I got very emotional after that, because then I watched Daredevil, and then that ended, and that ended really well and really hyped with that. And I was just like, what a really perfect day. I'm so happy. All I needed then was a takeaway.
Fair enough.
But yeah, no, it was good. I think what else has been around? Okay, so over in Japan, they did Star Wars Celebration this weekend.
Have they announced where?
LA 2027.
2027.
The 1st to the 4th of April 2027. It's in Los Angeles.
Which I'm a bit conflicted about.
Why?
Why?
Yeah, just out of curiosity.
Donald fucking Trump. That's why. Like,
I mean, that was probably granted. That's probably my biggest conflict.
One, I'm not sure I could justify putting any money into the economy and that man's pocket when he has the views and etc. that he has. But 2, in 2 years' time, do we really know what fucking state the US is going to be in?
That is actually a good point, because it was a conversation I had with him.
He's just got a massive war against diversity and anybody that's any different, whether that be race, color, gender, sexual preferences, anything. It's just like the biggest fucking white supremacist going, and I just can't fathom what state the US is going to be in 2 years' time.
You might not even be safe to go there in 2 years.
Well,
now, people are saying like, "Don't come here." Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, is like people were getting having issues going across, even if they had a visa or had anything like that getting in the country, they could still get stopped, and they were just like, "What the hell?"
A friend of mine who I talk with regularly, you met him at MegaCon, Shalimar.
Yeah.
Me and him have talked loads about going to the US con at some point, but he's actually, said at the minute, he says, I've got no interest or plans. I don't want to plan anything in to travel to the US. And he sent me an article the other day. I think travel to the US has dropped by about 11 point something% in the last few months.
I mean, their tourism's going to drop massively.
There's tons of stories about people being wrongly deported, held in detention centres even when they've got visas.
That's what I'd heard. Yeah.
There's some really horrific shit going on.
Yeah, and to me, that's just like,
I don't know if I want to take the risk of that hassle, to be honest.
No,
so I'd love to go to LA in 2027.
suppose it depends on
Mainly
the
because
climate.
I would love to do a US con. I'm not getting any younger, and it's like I don't want to leave it too many more years before I decide to head over there for one. On the other hand, I wouldn't dream of like planning something yet until we know what state the country's going to be in.
No, definitely. I kind of agree. I was having that conversation. It's like I've wanted to do, after we've chatted multiple times about doing US cons. It's like Dragon Con was on my mind for doing, because that sounded really good fun.
Were like my two main ones.
Exactly, and because so many people have gone on about it and everything, I was like, do you know what? I'd love to try it. But then as soon as like what's going on over there, I was like, do you know what? It's just I'm not even going to bother. I'm not bother.
Why I'm focusing mainly on like European events at the minute.
Doing our own events and stuff and bits and pieces.
Yeah.
Have you guys done many Europe cons or?
I've done one. Well, I've done one European photo con. I've not done any mainstream European events. I'm doing another photo con in Switzerland in June. And then September, I've applied to do Focus Cosplay, which is like a photo con in France, which is really cool. But the same weekend, there's a mainstream con in Malaga, which is being put on by San Diego Comic-Con.
So
Okay.
that could be potentially really, really cool.
But
So if I don't get into Focus, then I plan to head out there to Malaga for a few days. I've already booked accommodation just in case, because I managed to book some cheap accommodation out there. Yeah, we'll just see what happens.
I suppose on the con front, as we're on this conversation, what's your con plans there, Annie? Got anything planned?
Ta-da!
Ta-da!
Here's what I made earlier. Yes, MCM May is my next con, and I am doing this fabulous tech priest that I've been working on since January. We're now nearly May. I'm having such a great time with it. So yeah, I'm doing that, and we've got an Invincible group as well. So I'm doing Anissa from Invincible. So that's my con plans. I'm buzzing for a little con, social more than maybe con. I know we talked about earlier. But yes, I'm excited. Well, I'm excited to see you, but sadly,
not me.
not
Maybe.
I mean,
never say never.
You'll be there. You're so gonna be there.
You'll be there in spirit, if anything.
Yeah, I think for me, it's more like justifying the cost the same month that I'm on a cruise in Norway. Because like hotel prices are horrendous at the minute.
It honestly, the amount I paid for XL is for what's the one opposite?
Nova Hotel.
That's the one. Oh my god, it's unreal. Like, it was just ridiculous. And I'm going up Thursday, so I'm saying Thursday, Friday, Saturday, so 3 nights.
I mean, I've not looked. The hotel prices keep dropping. Let's have a laugh and see what it is from like Friday to Monday.
Like the last minute sort of stuff, wouldn't it? Really.
Oh no, but it might be cheaper than what I paid.
Said, please don't do
I
it.
much doubt it.
No, yeah. If you've even got
when
any
is
spaces
it?
left.
When is it?
No
Is it
risk.
23rd, I think, is it?
23rd, isn't
Well,
it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Depending if you go up the day before. I'd initially booked just 2 nights. I just did the Friday, Saturday, and then the guys were like, yeah, we're going to do Friday as well. So I was like, oh, well, I'll add on an extra day.
Yeah, and then take out a small loan.
I mean, I was very fortunate that I was contributed some money towards my hotel costs. So
That's nice.
I didn't take the full whack, which was...
Oh, shit. Fucking hell. You can get the Sunborn for 700 quid. That's cheap for May.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's normally like...
How many days is that? That one night?
That's cheap, that is, for like Friday to Monday.
And
that's
with
breakfast as well.
You gotta be careful with someone. Sometimes it's like it might be per night. You have to just kind of look at the small.
No, that's like the whole. Yeah.
Still a lot.
That is the pay up front non-refundable rate.
Still a lot of money if you think at least. Well, for hotels in London, it's still a lot of money. But for the prices that you spend normally around there, that's actually not a bad price for that weekend.
Novotel is 1,033 quid for 3 nights.
Stop it. Unreal. I'm trying to think now what I paid. I think I probably paid about 700 in total for mine 3 nights.
Yeah, normally. So if I I generally stay at like the Moxie at the other end of the XL, and that's normally about 650 if I go Thursday night, Friday, and Saturday. Check out Sunday.
Thing is, they know they can charge it because they know people are going to pay it.
Well, yes, I think because that happens every year around the same time, twice a year. It's always
because when I went to MegaCon in Jan, did I do 2 nights? And that was what, 200 and something quid. So they just know that weekend is motherfuckers.
We've said it before on here as well. It's like because now you have the is it Elizabeth line goes straight in. It's quicker getting to central London and stuff like that now, so it opens it up to the rest of London as well.
Yeah, there's a place on here that's I've never heard of it. It's just a deluxe double room, Riverside Rooms and Apartments, and it is one of the apartment blocks right near XL. 332 quid
for the night, or
upfront, free cancellation.
So have the 3 nights.
The 3 days.
That's cheap, yeah. 3 nights.
That's very good.
That's dirt cheap.
Then it makes me question a little bit though when it goes a little bit dirt cheap when you look at everything else around there though. You're like,
Is it a new listing or something?
No, they've got some reviews. 518 reviews.
It's not a new one.
With only an average of like 6.1.
Thing is, though, what are you using it for? It's basically just to sleep in, and if you're a cosplayer, you get ready in it. That's it.
Edit. That's it.
The rest of the time you're out and a bet drinking.
Yeah, a lot of people just saying the rooms were like passable.
Okay.
But then again, for that price,
it depends on what you're looking for, really, isn't it? It depends if you're just going want a place to put your head down at night. If you're going to spend the rest of it out and about, what's it matter? Yeah, exactly. As long as it's a safe place and it's secure for your stuff, it doesn't really matter, does it?
No, exactly.
Yeah. So just put a little bookmark on that page so that when you get that creator pass, you can just pop that in your basket. Check out.
To be fair, I'm not very hopeful of getting a creator pass. I only applied today, and the event's like a month away. So
yeah, 1 month.
I actually applied this year, and I didn't get one, and I bet you it's because I get my boobs out.
You know what though? I know people that get.
It's because you don't tag out. Well, you have your boobs out. That's why.
I mean, I know people that get more out and get approved for a creator pass every time.
What are your thoughts on creator passes? Is it does your face fit? Is it the same old people? Because that's from an outsider.
No,
that's
I don't know. It seems a bit. It all seems a bit random.
Okay.
No.
It does seem to have changed a little bit over the last year, I feel. Because at one point it did feel like it was like the same faces always getting it. But now I think the criteria have changed.
They have added more structure to it as well, over like the requirements. Which is the weird thing is what I don't understand why you didn't get one. Because you meet all the criteria that they ask for. And yet there's people that I feel that maybe didn't meet the criteria.
Yeah.
That are newer with a much lesser following that didn't get approved. But
it's all good.
I'm not
bitter.
Well, the thing is as well, is you're looking at it the right way. You didn't get a pass, but you still bought a ticket. You're still going.
Absolutely.
That's the way it should be.
Yeah.
No, it's like
there are people that are like, I'm only going if I get a creator pass.
Well, that's those entitled.
Exactly. I'm not going. I can't justify spending. I can't afford to spend 97 quid on a pass. I can't afford a hotel in the same month as I go on holiday. I've only applied because typically, like, I'll get a friend to message me and go, I've got a sofa you can sleep on, or such and such has dropped out of the accommodation and they've already paid and you can have it for free, in which case I could make a last minute decision and go. And I could just go down and make some podcast content, so if I get the creative pass, I may go, I may not. Who knows? It's not a case of I will only go if I get a creative pass.
Yeah.
Because in the past, I haven't got a creative pass, and I've still gone. Sometimes I've applied and got turned down. Sometimes I've applied and got accepted. Sometimes I haven't even applied. I just bought a ticket. It's just how it is. If I want to go to an event, I'll go to an event. It doesn't matter to me whether it means nothing to me in terms of a free ticket, and that's not what people should see these passes as. It's a two-way street, you need to do something for MCM in exchange for the pass, and that's create content, promote them. They need to get something from it. Otherwise, they're just giving away money for nothing. But too many people kind of see it as just a free ticket, if you like, which is it's not the way to look at it.
So I was lucky enough for October, I got a creative pass, and I'm lucky enough for May to get a creative pass because I applied. But if I had, okay, so this is going to sound really controversial because it's going to be like this time, if I hadn't have got my creative pass, I don't think I would have gone, but not because I didn't get a creative pass. It's just more so because it come down to the cost of things, and I'm saving for bits and pieces.
Also, as well, I think you applied for a creative pass before a lot of the controversial stuff kicked off that then made us both decide that maybe we want to take a step back from mainstream cons. And I think I remember you saying to me that whilst I've decided I want to take a step back from mainstream cons, I'm going to go to MCM because they've been kind enough to give me a creative pass. So I'm going to go and make the most of it, which is fair enough.
It is. And it's normally, though, if I wasn't obviously, like a lot of people know, is obviously I'm saving up for wedding and stuff like that. So it's like that at this point, because we're getting closer and closer to that, that's more of a criteria. That's more of an importance for me. Like if I wasn't saving for something, then I probably still would have bought a ticket, like a general entry ticket for the weekend or something like that, and I still would have gone, and I would have done it on a budget a bit more.
Yeah, if I wasn't going on a cruise to Norway the same month, I would have applied for Creative Pass much earlier, and if I hadn't got one, I would have still made the decision whether to go.
And with like other things going on in June as well and stuff like that, it's like it just happens this year that it would have been a bit more tighter on a budget. So that's the reason I wouldn't have gone this year if I hadn't got the Creative Pass. But for me, I'm grateful that I've got one. It means I can go and I can go socialize with some friends and do a bit of content while I'm there as well. So I do appreciate it. But there is a lot of people that do get very entitled, going, "Oh, it's outrageous that I didn't get a ticket." It's like, well, if you didn't get a ticket, you didn't get a ticket. If you want,
I was not expecting to get one. I was like, I'm going to try it because there's no harm in it. I didn't get one.
You've been in it to win, haven't you? Really, you've got to apply.
I was like, dude, I just buy a ticket. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, some of the posts.
And it won't stop me from. I'll apply again for the next one. I think there are a lot of people that are like, I'm never going to apply again, so I'm not going to do it.
Generally, doesn't matter what level you are as a creator or cosplayer or photographer. I think if you want to apply, just apply because you never know. You might.
A lot of it's probably luck anyway.
Luck,
I don't know how much. I don't know how much they actually look into.
I think they're looking for like a bit of diversity as well. So if they've got a few too many of one certain type of person or creator, then they're not going to grant any more of that type, and so on and so forth. And they want to give some people that maybe got a lesser following a chance, perhaps. I don't know. I don't really know how MCM decided.
It is something that we would love to
have an external third-party company that do their press and creator handling now.
I think it's because it's Repop, and obviously they did like Celebration in Japan, for example. They do all the stuff over in the States with like New York Comic-Con, other bits and pieces. So it, like I said, we don't know enough details about how the creator side of it works. I would love to speak with someone from MCM and figure out how that works, just out of curiosity more than anything, because it'd be interesting to know. But again, criteria always changes year in, year out. So but yeah, should be a good. Hopefully, it will be a good one. Normally is.
I hope so.
Yeah.
It'll be what we make it.
Are you going to remember saying goodbye to us? Saying goodbye to us this time when we leave, Annie?
Was I really drunk?
Well, you told me when we left the bar on that evening. You're like, make sure you message us to say you got back. And the next day, you were like so confused. You're like, did you? I didn't even remember you leaving. It's like, Annie, you gave us a hug and said goodbye.
I was so drunk. I'm sorry. I was a little bit intoxicated, and I felt very rough the next day.
That's comment, really. For most people,
it's a hard balance, because I want to cosplay, but if I'm hanging, I do not want to cosplay. So this is going to be a challenge in May. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, because you're doing your tech priest Friday and Sunday, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm going to do. I've done too much to only do it for one day. So also because I've got to lug it all on the train, I thought I can't take 3 different things. It's too much effort. So tech priest Friday, Sunday, Anissa Saturday.
nice.
But
Better be ready. Better be ready for Sunday because I need some shots. You have to be ready.
Okay. We'll make sure we shoot like first thing so that if I'm dead, I can just take it.
So I'll just knock on your hotel door and be like, yeah, come on, let's go shoot.
I mean, I won't be able to see a thing, so
it's nothing new there.
Help me see, walk.
It's a bit like that when you did Borderlands with your contacts in, so it'll be fine.
And I have literally one white out contact and then an eye patch, so.
Oh, yeah, people will be like,
walk around like this.
I can't see nothing.
Plus, with the hangover, oh, it's all good.
Especially with that group as well, you'd be, yeah.
Pray for me.
Yep. Okay, so sounds like a lot of fun. And then, so
what other cons have you got? What else are you going to this year?
June's horrendously busy for me. So I'm in Switzerland in mid-June for Picmatia, which reminds me I need to book my flights for that because I've not got flights booked yet. Then the week after we've got Secret Con.
Castle.
The Castle, yeah. That'll be a good one.
It will be good. I've still got to book accommodation for that.
Then what else have I got?
So it takes June. Yeah, you got June. You've got Switzerland, and we've got Castle up north, and then
what date is Castle again? I'm definitely
14, 21st, 22nd.
Yeah.
I fly back on the 21st.
Yeah, you go fly into Leeds Bradford.
I'll be dead.
It'd actually be easy to fly into Manchester because it's like Preston way.
Like Manchester or Liverpool. Fly to Liverpool.
Yeah.
There you go. Sorted.
I've already got flights booked, man.
Change it. It's fine.
Yeah, then I think after that...
is there anything in July?
September.
What's July? There's a mega in July, is there?
Mega Manchester. Yeah, I've got various people trying to convince me to do that one. I normally do it, but I'm not sure whether I'm going to this year.
I will probably say I'm not doing it, but then my little one will be like, oh, I want to go to a con. And I will take my little one to a con, but only the mega cons now because of the kids. It's more kid friendly and he gets more enjoyment from that one. So knowing my luck, I say, yeah, I'm not doing Manchester. Next thing I know, I'll probably be like, oh, I'm here.
So when is it? 26th, 27th of July, I think. Yeah, it's like
a few days. It'd be the school holidays.
Yeah, 4 days after my birthday, so it's like I normally like.
Wasn't that when the San Diego one was on in Malaga?
No, that's September.
September.
I'm busy. Shock.
Yeah. San Diego, Malaga is 25th to the 28th of September.
Yeah. I think we've got some stuff planned for podcast tangent sort of shoots going on that we're in the process of planning.
Yeah, we need to sort out the smoke grenade one.
Oh, what with Pete?
Yeah.
With Pedro. Yes. And me and Annie need to keep rescheduling our smoke grenade one.
We haven't even scheduled it. You can't reschedule something we've never scheduled.
Okay. It's called Annie. When are we doing it? Technically,
We will.
But we did schedule it. It's just that at that time when we scheduled it, weekends that you were free, I wasn't.
Yeah,
And then the
yeah.
weekends I was free, you weren't. So then we were
Yeah.
like, okay, let's look at it in the new year. So I think we were looking about like I think it was just before.
Was it before or after? When did I wear it? MCM October. No. Yes.
No, I think you
No,
had
Mega.
it ready for October, but I think you had it for MegaCon in January.
We will.
But we'll get it sorted. I've still got some left over.
I wanted the weather to be nicer because it's cold.
Yeah, this sort of time of year would be great for it.
I froze at Mega in January. Jesus Christ!
I remember. It was
rainy Sunday.
Yeah, I wasn't there for
Not
Sunday.
the one.
There for Saturday. But no, and then we've got some stuff that we want to do. I think we wanted to do we'll go check that word out there, cinematic city shoot.
Yeah.
Well, find it. Get a couple of models hopefully with that, and we're going to try and do some fun bits and pieces there. I think we were looking at May, but I think if you're away on your cruise, I think we'll get May be in May. Now I think it'll probably be a June thing.
We could do. Well, I think June will be out. To be fair,
yeah,
I'm trying to schedule much more in now before July. But then I can see what's happening. I've got all this stuff coming. Like people are going, "Should we do this? Should we do this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, nothing before July." And then July is just going to have everything in 1 month.
Yeah.
So
then we've got the Devil's Domain that I need to plan, which you're a part of, Annie. Don't forget.
Yes, that's another costume I need to start working on.
Well, you've got your Ghost ones. It's very similar to your Ghost.
Yeah, I'll. Yeah.
It needs to be a little bit less booby.
Damn it! Yes, I promise I will cover them.
Wasn't my criteria. That was a few other people's criteria.
Ooh. No, we'll make it more.
Yeah, I think I came up with a good vision after we finished the Born Again. It just kind of tied in nicely with some bits and pieces. So I needed to get that planned up and briefed out to the group so we can get working on that one, and then people can work on their costumes for it. And then I can let Joey go crazy with his imagination again. His ideas that he has. Yes. What else we got going on? Yeah, I haven't really kind of planned past sort of June, July, I think, at this rate. I think it's
other than kind of loose plans for September for either focus in France or San Diego, Malaga. And then, of course, the new MegaCon, Farnborough. That's what I'm definitely doing.
Oh, yeah, October.
Oh, yeah, I saw. That's not far from me. I don't think Farnborough.
It's not far from you. It's 20 minutes from me, so it's probably about 30, 40 minutes for you.
Yeah.
When is that?
October. Start of October.
Start of October. First weekend in October, I believe it is.
Yeah, 4th and 5th.
29 minutes away, baby.
Oh, what a good guess that was from me. 30 to 40 minutes.
So I'm definitely doing that. I've got accommodation booked for that already.
Shit, you're on it.
It's different. It's a new one. I like the fact that it's local to me, so I'm doing it.
So I am. I check my diary.
Do I dare check?
You say first weekend of October?
It should be, yeah. I think that's
fine. I've only got a nail appointment. I can move that.
I remember that from the last time you said that.
Yeah, first weekend.
Right, I'm going to actually put that in my diary because...
What was the other one we said? I think it was a secret con. You went, I can change that. It's only a nail appointment.
Can flex. Boom. I assume that's just a Saturday, Sunday con.
Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, it's MegaCon. They don't do Friday or anything like that. They just do weekends.
No, that's good. That's good. Excellent. I'll add that on my list of things to. Oh, I went to that.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Better make something else.
Other than that, I don't think I've got much else, like con-wise. Loads of different shoots that I'm trying to schedule in, like out of con bits and pieces.
Yeah, I think that seems to be picking up a little bit more for things.
Because the weather's getting better. It's difficult in.
Yeah, it is. I'm slowly trying to get into the little bit of the fantasy stuff at the minute, just because I think because I've been listening to fantasy books and stuff like that, it's kind of got me feeling a little bit like, oh, maybe do some of that for a bit of a difference, because I just want to change things up a little bit and change styles and whatnot. Well, not style, but
Well, you're quite lucky where you are. Don't you have quite a lot of good locations? Like you've got a lot of foresty stuff near you, haven't you?
foresties, yeah. So we got Frensham near me, which is where I shot with a couple of friends this weekend. Also went into Farnham as well and shot in the high street in Farnham as well.
Nice.
That was quite cool. We did the boys shoot in down one of the high street there, and then went off to Little Frensham Pond near me. Shot up in the hills and by the lake there, which I did again. I did that with Holly in December. It was like the 20th of December, and she was like, "Oh, I want to go in the lake." I was like, "That's up to you." Yeah, it was very cold. Even I went in.
Brave.
Yeah, very brave. The shots look good though from that, so I'm not going to lie. Yeah, that's what we've got going on.
I've got like no shoots planned, apart from the ones I need to plan with you.
That's just the running thing that we always got there, Eddie.
I think the guy I normally shoot with non-cosplay, we're gonna do the Adeptus. I think he's knows some abandoned gunpowder mill or something near us, apparently. So I think we're gonna do that.
Sounds interesting. That'd be quite fun.
And that's about it. Nothing else in the works.
Any other cosplays in mind coming up? I know you said you earlier said I'm over this creating of making things.
I'll finish that and be like, I'll do one now for October MCM because, well, for Farnborough now, I need something new for that. I don't know. I need to do this Punisher.
Yeah. Well, maybe there you go. You can do Punisher for the October stuff.
And that's not as much work because you're just putting together stuff. It's not like you're actually making. So that shouldn't be anything. I don't know what I want to do next. I don't know what I fancy. You know me, I like something a bit different and not the norm.
Yeah.
So it's not kind of.
I like my gender bendery kind of. So I don't know what I have really enjoyed the Warhammer stuff because it's just different. I like the detail and it's very like they're big. I don't know. I've got an inspo board and there's a few outrageous things on there.
What about Gears of War style-esque?
Maybe that,
that's quite bulky in some ways.
Yeah, see, I like butch, bulky, but then I kind of have the sexy twist.
Yeah,
that's my vibe. So I don't know.
Cool.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I'm actually planning on doing some non-cosplay out-of-con shoots this year. I didn't do hardly any out-of-con shoots last year, and all the ones I did last year were all group shoots. I just didn't get much chance. The weather was a bit shit last year. So this year I want to make sure I do some out-of-con stuff.
Didn't you do some fairly recently? Where were you? Did you go to London? No. Was it London you went to?
I've not been to Wales this year. I've been to Wales.
Oh, maybe it was last year.
Might have been last year.
Might have been. You had some good nice shots from there.
You did the City Cinematic one in London the other last time.
That was this year, yeah.
Oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
True North
cinematic photo walk in London. Yeah, I enjoyed that actually. I did enjoy that.
Yeah, the shots that came from that were really cool. I ended up having a chat with Dean after he did that event because I wanted to do it but couldn't.
Yeah, it's worth doing one. I'm going to be doing my own cinematic workshop photo walk at some point. I just need to plan that.
Got a lot to plan.
We've always got lots to plan. That's the problem. There's always these ideas.
There's not enough time.
There's not enough time to plan. That's the only problem.
No.
But that's the thing is you've got your day jobs and then the hobbies and then the edits and then they'll go, I really fancy doing this idea or that.
Yeah. I think we need a lottery win and then I can just pack up the day job and
it's really hard to balance because you do risk the burnout. Like I'm getting to that point with this and I'm like every night. So
I got to that point last year and had to take like quite a long break after MCM Birmingham. And then like my back fucked me over at the start of this year, so I had to miss a couple of events. And then kind of struggled to get back into it a little bit, but I think I'm in a bit better creative headspace now to just crack on. I bought a few new bits of equipment, new Sure anamorphic lens, which I'm looking forward to trying out this weekend. So that'll be fun.
I think you've just got to be more selfish with your time, haven't you? And pick the projects that you're interested. I think it's very easy to be like, yeah, let's do this. Yeah, okay, let's do this. But actually,
I think
you have to go for the stuff that you're passionate about and you want to do.
This year, even when I do go to mainstream events, unfortunately, quite a few people out there, I am going to be far more choosy about what I shoot and who I shoot with. And that's nothing against any of the people that may want to shoot with me that I say no to. It is very much, it's not you, it's me. And it's just, I'm going to have a lot less time to go to a lot of the mainstream cons this year, and a bit less interest as well, because I'm finding mainstream cons a bit hard to get creative at now, or to create things that I haven't created already, if you know what I mean. And so I want to sort of strip that back a little bit, concentrate on mainstream cons if I do go to any, of just creating a small amount with a few set people, and then mainly doing sort of podcast and just chatting to people, networking, and then doing creative out-of-con projects. And, if people that want to shoot with me that aren't necessarily doing anything that I'm interested in at the time, then it'll be, unfortunately, I'm not able to shoot with you at this event, but feel free to book me for an out-of-con shoot. It's as simple as that. And I am going to have to start charging. I've done a lot of stuff for free for too long, I think, even out-of-con stuff. So now I've got to take the philosophy that if it's an out-of-con shoot and I'm not really benefiting from it in the way that I don't really want it for my own content, then it'll be a chargeable shoot. I just can't.
Well, and that's not being out of the cosplay world. That's normal. Models have rates, photographers have rates. That's a completely normal thing. So
I think that's something that the cosplay community is maybe struggling to grasp a little bit at the moment, because they're not necessarily used to the normal modeling world. Like the normal modeling world, Annie, like if there's a project that the photographer wants to do that benefits them and not the model, the photographer pays. If it's a project that the model wants to do and doesn't necessarily benefit the photographer, then the model pays. If it's something that benefits both, you come to a mutual agreement. It's as simple as that. That's how it works in the real world outside of cosplay. But I don't think there are a lot of people that don't grasp that in the cosplay community.
No.
And for me, if it's a project that I want to do and I need to find a specific cosplayer with a specific look, and what we want to shoot doesn't benefit them, I'm happy to pay them for the time. It's as simple as that. And the same needs to work the other way around, but there's just not that understanding, I don't think.
No, people get very easily offended, I think, as well, and take it personally when it's like, it's not, there's tons of photographers that I will turn down only because their style might not fit what I want to do, and it's never a personal thing. It's never, not that their work's not good. It just doesn't necessarily suit my style or what I'm looking for. And it goes the other way for you guys, photographers.
I think on the flip side of that coin now, we're in a position where there's more cosplayers and more photographers than ever on the scene. So whilst, your style might not suit one person, there'll be someone out there who will want to shoot with you. And it's as simple as that. Again, that works both ways. There's probably more Togs on the circuit now than I've seen since I started doing mainstream cons in 2017.
And there's more people starting to get interested in wanting to get into cosplay photography, or even just photography in general. Because we've had conversations with people within the community going, okay, I really want to get into it. And you're like, that's brilliant. So there's always going to be someone out there who would, especially at a con, who's going to be going, okay, I really want to be able to take photos. And they've got to start somewhere. So they'll shoot anything and everybody. Because that's what, when I started, I would shoot absolutely anything and anybody. Whereas now I am being a bit more selective of what I want to shoot, because one, there is a backlog consideration, because I don't have all the time in the world to edit everything that I shoot. If I was to shoot absolutely everybody that came up asking for a shoot, and also if it's something that I enjoy, if it's a cosplay that I connect with or I like and it is in my style, I am more likely to put my all into something. Not that I wouldn't put my all into anything else. It's just that if I'm hyped for it, it's going to come out 10 times better than something that I don't know.
Well, and also all of my page as a model, cosplayer, whatever, yours a photographer, that's your portfolio of work. So there's nothing wrong with having a standard and wanting certain types of work on your page. Like, that's okay. People just, I don't know how it's like an education thing, isn't it? That I just think.
Yeah.
It is. It's just very much like, you just got to, it's never against anybody. If someone says no, it's never oh no, it's because you're shit. It's not anything like that. It is purely just down to a point that it's like, you look amazing, but I might not be the right fit.
Yeah.
Or I will happily point you in the direction of someone who I know would probably want to shoot that. It's like, just because I don't want to shoot it doesn't mean that someone else doesn't want to shoot it. It's someone else probably will, and I can, 9 times out of 10, I'm most likely to go, such and such over there. Go, if you ask them, or if you want me, I'm more happy to come up with you, and I'll have a chat with them as well and see if they're, if they know of anybody or if they're happy to do it.
Plus, as we've already clearly talked about, it's time. Like, we're all so busy. You just, and for a lot of us, this is a hobby. This isn't, none of us necessarily monetize out of all of this stuff. So you don't.
That time thing, there's been a lot going around recently. I wasn't going to touch on this, but fuck it, I'm going to anyway.
Go for it.
There's been a lot going around recently about Togs charging at cons, and it's been like a massive bone of contention for a lot of people. And I'll be clear here, the posts that I've seen are very clearly about photographers not charging within the con boundaries itself, but outside of the boundaries, but in the area and during the weekend of the con. Now, there's a lot of controversy about that, and I'm not going to go into the full details or my full views on that. But what you've just touched on there, Annie, is quite simple. It's somebody's time, and whilst at a con, potentially we've all paid the same or similar costs to be there. The cost for the ticket, the cost for travel, the cost for hotels. So we've all paid a lot to be there. However, if I'm going to shoot with somebody that's cosplaying something that I'm interested in, that I'm going to want to post myself, then gladly I will shoot them for free. But if somebody wants me to shoot with them, like I've said, that I might not be interested in that cosplay, that fandom, just not what I'm into at the moment, I'm not going to want to post it on my feed, then why would I want to spend time out of a busy, expensive weekend that I paid a lot of money to be there for as well, if I'm not getting anything from it? If I'm going to have to spend time shooting, editing, sending, then really that cosplayer has got two choices. They either pay the photographer to shoot them anyway, away from the con, in which case it then becomes more of a professional arrangement, or the photographer has to turn around and say, no, I'm sorry, I'm not into what you're cosplaying. Simple as that. There's people out there saying that, oh, it's wrong, people are just circumnavigating the rules, it's all about togs, blah, blah, blah. For me, the same goes for a photographer wanted to shoot with a certain cosplayer. If that cosplayer looks at the photographer's style and it really isn't for them, they're never going to want to post the images on their feed. The cosplayer, again, has also spent the same amount of money to be there. Then for me, they are within their rights to say, well, if we want to go down there, blah, 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 you know, you want to come out to con, I'm happy to shoot, but, you know, I'm going to have to charge you 30 quid or whatever to shoot with me. Then again, the photographer should be prepared to either go, yeah, okay, brilliant, and they still get some shots, or no, I don't want to, or the cosplayer just say, like you've done to people in the past, Annie, no, your style isn't for me, and they go their own separate ways. And I think provided all rules are being followed, and if you're shooting, we'll use MCM as an example because that's the nearest one. If you are shooting on Excel property, I do need to point out you do need a permit to shoot there, particularly if you're charging. And if you are planning on charging, you do need to put in your permit application that you are looking to do commercial or paid shoots. It is very important that you do that. And that everyone is upfront, whether it be cosplayer or photographer, that certain shoots are charged. Then everyone has a choice then whether to pay that or not. You know, in like Europe, US, tons of other places in the world, that's the norm. I'm not saying it should be here, because there is also something in the fact that, you know, it's a collaborative, you know, event, collaborative time and space, blah, blah, blah. There's something in that as well. I mean, I've never charged for shoots at or around cons. Even when I've done hotel shoots in the evenings or shoots in the evenings, I've never charged. Because again, it's normally shoots that I'm interested in doing. I generally use events for networking more than anything. But, you know, I think it's just people seem to be a little bit closed off to change on the UK con scene. And I think if everything's up front, I don't necessarily see a huge problem with it. But at the same time, I do also see the arguments that it's a collaborative space and perhaps it sends out the wrong message to newer people coming into it that might not know how it works. So, you know, it's a difficult topic. But from what I've seen from the arguments, it's not been handled very well, and that seems quite typical of the UK community at the minute, is when something comes about that people don't agree with, it just comes down to trying by social media, calling people out, name calling, throwing insults at people, rather than like chatting about it like adults and going, I don't think this is right, in my opinion, because, and talking about it like adult human beings. Sometimes this con scene in this country is like being in bloody kindergarten. It might be because I'm a little bit older than most people in it, but it's just sometimes I'm just like, you know what, fuck it, I just need to step back for a while and give the kids a break.
Yeah, something that's not bad having to step back sometimes. Just
exactly. And there's that, and then there's all the controversy over recent months about various people being cancelled for inappropriate behaviour, and which has been quite a bit of, and people being called out for supposed inappropriate behaviour when they actually haven't done anything wrong. It's just the UK con scene in this country
it's very toxic.
It does feel quite toxic at the minute. The amount of, like, you know, like I say, the amount of like name calling and calling people out, sometimes for no reason. There've been various call outs for inappropriate behaviour, which I will say have been very, very valid, and probably needed to be done for a while. But just generally, it seems more toxic at the moment than it has done perhaps ever, which is a shame. I'm hoping it kind of gets back, you know, has a little bit of a reset once some of the main cons come about, and everyone just gets back to having fun. Because cosplay and people forget to play sometimes.
Yeah. And as someone who's historically, I've always been a bit of a lone wolf, you know, quite often I'll come to cons on my own, I'll do my thing. I've never really been part of big groups. And at the minute, it's horrible. I'm like, this is why I take a step back and I'm not in it. But equally, there are elements of such amazing community. And some of the groups that I now feel very privileged that I am a part of, that's why I want to be part of it, but I can see for new people coming in,
Yeah.
Jesus, it's like
It can be very confusing and very misleading, I think, for some new people coming into it.
yes,
Whether they're togs, cosplayers, costume makers, whatever side of the coin they're on. Yeah, I don't think I would want to be cutting my teeth for the first time in the community like this year. If I was all of a sudden coming into the cosplay community this year as a tog, already I'd be like, what the fuck? And I'd be like, nah, this isn't for me.
It is the thing, isn't it? I think it's something at the moment. It needs a bit of a reset.
Yeah,
There are, like Annie said, there's some amazing groups out there, and I'm
There is.
grateful to be a massively part of quite a few of them groups. And it's taken me time to get part of them groups. Not like trying to
and
get
there
in
is
there,
some
but networking.
there is some absolutely wonderful people in the community as well. I've met some amazing friends over the last few years in this community, who are just wonderful, genuine people who will do anything for anybody. But yeah, then you always just got the bits niggling away in the background that, unfortunately, instead of just like being the odd niggle, you're starting to see it more and more.
Yeah, it's just at the moment it's just piling on and
It's
on and on,
relentless,
where
yeah.
it's just relentless. I think it's getting to people because people are just like, oh my god, can we not just go back to just being nerds and geeks and enjoying a similar thing that we all love and enjoy?
Exactly.
But it will get back there. I think it's just it is evident that it's slowly merging back that way. To a point.
I think it's just that there's been like a lot of controversial things happening in a very short space of time, and I think both in and out of the community that have just boiled things over, perhaps, and hopefully now over the next couple of months it can start getting back to a bit more fun.
I think it's been a bit like not just even in the community. I think there's been a bit stressful times just in society in general, and that has a massive impact on, especially in your mental side of it as well. And we always say, don't let our lives impact our hobbies and stuff like that. But sometimes it's so hard not to allow some like the personal stuff that goes on in our lives outside of things to not impact something. And I think that can play an element to it as well, but it's not.
Cosplay and like photography with you guys, it's probably an escape for a lot of us. So that's probably, it's when you're seeing the community as it is, you're like, oh, it doesn't feel like much of an escape right now. But I think, like you said, Darren, once we've got a few big events happen, people will get together, hopefully we'll remember why we're all part of it. Exactly. You'll see everyone.
Yeah, exactly. I think
get the social
back around.
Shots.
All the beers, all the shots.
All the beers, all the shots.
Yeah, but there we go. That's my little whinge over.
You whinge away.
Whinge, it's fine.
Get it out.
Getting back to things a bit more fun and a bit more nerdy, because I think that was supposed to be what we were supposed to be doing here.
Yeah, just being general nerds.
Anyone been doing anything gaming recently?
No. Well, not really.
I'm again, because my life is currently this costume, I just don't get the time.
Yeah, and
my go-to is always Stardew Valley because it's my chill, my little farm. That's my cozy, cute gaming. I've not played anything new in ages.
No.
I want to try, what's that repo one that everyone's, the multiplayer one with the funny little chompy head people. It's some like, I think it's a bit of a jump scare game. I keep seeing it on TikTok. That's supposed to be really good. I've not. I couldn't even tell you the last game that I got really. I've not had anything that I've really got into for a long time.
I had a new one at the weekend. It's not even officially out yet, but it's kind of like a game preview called Off the Grid. I think it's been knocking around for a while. It's like a bit of a multiplayer futuristic fighting thing where it's hard to explain, but I just couldn't get into it. I'm not generally one for online multiplayer games anyway. I'm a bit, when it comes to gaming, I am definitely a lone wolf. I like a good story mode, something that I can just get immersed in.
I think at the moment I'm very much in the mood. I just want a good story I can sink into.
Yeah.
I go through phases where I can either play stuff like Destiny and play with my friends and just chill that way, and then sometimes I just need to switch off
and get
and
immersed.
play a good story game and whatnot. And it's like, I think I did that at the beginning of the year. I think it was Star Wars Outlaws. As much hate as that got at the time, I think it came out in like the January sales, like the New Year sales, and I bought the Ultimate Edition or something like that. And do you know what? It wasn't perfect, but it gave me that thing that I needed at the time, which was just a semi-open world, linear story, followed a path, did what I want to do, collected what I wanted, and I just had a blast doing it. And the reason I bring it up is because obviously Celebration just gone over this weekend. They just announced the last DLC releasing. I was like, ooh, cool. That means now I can actually finish off the story game because, well, last DLC is coming out in, I think, end of May or something like that, I think. But again, I have to be very much in the mood these days now to play a story game. And if I've got time to just sit down, chill out, and play, then I will. And I've been going back through Gears of War, and I got really frustrated the other day because I was replaying a level and I refused to take the difficulty down. And I'm on this elevator, on this lift platform thing, and they're just waves of freaking enemies. I'm just like, you motherfuckers keep pinning me in a goddamn corner, stamping on my head. I was like, you fuckers. Anyway, but I've been enjoying playing that again, and I've just probably been more engaged with just falling on the sofa and just watching TV for a little bit and doing a few edits here and there. Yeah.
I actually downloaded GTA 5 again at the weekend. I've not played that for years, but they've just put it on Game Pass. It's the remastered one for Series S and Series X. So I downloaded that at the weekend. I just started playing story mode on that again for like.
Okay.
Well, I've not played it since I got the Series X.
What, PlayStation 1? That's just my joke of how long that game's been around.
Oh, tell me about it.
I think it was actually designed and made for the PS5. I think it came out on PS3. I think originally it was meant to be designed for the PS3, and I think it got then delayed to the PS4 or something. I don't know. It's been around multiple generations, that game. So
I'm going to have a look now. 2013. No, that can't be right, surely.
Yeah, sounds about right.
It is right.
It was about right because it's been about, I think
September 2013.
Yeah, I know it's been out on multiple platforms. I remember playing it across multiple platforms.
Yeah, it came out on the original Xbox 360.
Wow.
Yeah, PlayStation 4, Xbox 360 it came out. Oh, PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. And then Xbox One and PS4.
Oh, yeah.
And then now Series X and Series S and PlayStation 5. Wow.
That's right, PlayStation 6.
Well, long overdue for a 6.
Which I think was meant to be this year, but I think they've delayed it to next year now.
I've not seen anything official that ever said it was going to be this year. There was a lot of speculation, I think.
Well, I think I think if you wait till sort of June, July, when they normally have like all the big game announcements and like game awards, I think that would be when we find out
when it's
going on with it.
Yeah.
It's too much anticipation. They're not going to release it too early and get it wrong, are they? They're going to
No. They're not going to have a cyberpunk moment, that's for sure.
No.
What was it? There's been a lot of hype around Spine. You've seen that lately. A lot more trailers, more gameplay has been coming out for that, and that's it's a very cyberpunk meets John Wick. If you're interested, it's like the Gun Fu style is what it is. That's been getting a lot more social media.
I'm in their Discord group as well, and like they've been posting a lot more new sort of updates and bits and pieces, like announcements and stuff in there.
Yeah, because occasionally I push it out on the podcast Instagram whenever I see it out there for some new stuff there, because that looks quite cool. And the both the fact that we like
more sort of sneak peeks and bits and pieces in the Discord recently. And it is looking really, really nice.
Seems to be coming along quite nicely. But
and a female main character as well, which is good.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I'm terrible at. I'm really bad at single player games. I'm very much I'm better with friends because I just struggle on my own. I will watch someone do a walkthrough online.
Yeah.
Or if there was someone to play, I'd watch them. But I just really struggle doing it on my own. But I enjoy watching other people play all of those games. So half of the games I've never played myself, but
I'm not actually sure whether this is going to be. It's a single player. Yeah.
I think like it's very. I feel like the games industry is very much not going away from like online multiplayer games, but trying to push back into that linear story space a bit. And I'm really happy that they're doing that because
yeah, definitely. I think like previous years saw this like massive leap towards games coming out that were both single player story mode, and multiplayer. And now they seem to be sort of going off where games are being created either specifically to be multiplayer online games or single player story mode. And for me, that's working better because the single player story mode ones are properly immersive. And the ones that are online are being designed around that base platform to be that. So yeah, I think it's definitely moving in the right direction in that sense.
I mean, for linear games that I'm looking forward to is the new Mass Effect, and I'm hoping they do it justice. So I was a massive Mass Effect fan when they all came out, through 1 all the way through 3. Really loved them. I could literally play 1, 2, 3, and then just repeat right back to the front again and start it all over again. I used to just love it. So they've got a new one coming. They're in development at the moment for that, and that will be my main sort of next big one I'm looking forward to. And then they're doing a remake of KOTOR, so Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, which was, I think it was like back in 99, 98. I think that originally came out. You can get it on the Switch, which is a brilliant game. Apparently that's been jumping through development companies left, right, and center for the last couple of years, and I don't know if it's actually even going to come out. But the company did come out about a month or so ago saying, yeah, we're still in development on this. This is still coming out. We're still working on it. But for me, that's the part of, I'm like a Star Wars fan. I love Star Wars. But that game I used to love playing that game when I was growing up. Very cool sort of, you made your own character how you want it, and it made you feel like you were part of that universe and you could be something within it. So it allowed you to play through and, you could become a Jedi, and if you wanted to be evil, you could be evil. If you wanted to be good, you could be good. It was that very sort of morality compass throughout the whole story. And it was all that you choose your own wording, your phrasing and stuff like that. So the replayability for it was really quite good because you could go, all right, this playthrough I'm going to be good, like nothing but good. And then the next playthrough I'll be evil as shit, or I will be sort of morally in between or whatever. So you had that replayability, but then also allows you to play the same story but get a slightly different outcome as well throughout because of your decisions. And I used to love that.
That's what I like about Cyberpunk.
Yeah, exactly.
Not only is the whole Cyberpunk world very, very, very immersive and very mean, you've got 3 different life paths, and you can be a male or a female or whatever, and
tickles your fancy.
What route you take and what you decide to be, or who you decide to be, can very much change the outcome of some of the missions and some of the storylines. And there's even like several different endings, including different endings for like the Phantom Liberty DLC.
Like 6 or 7 endings in the original game, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, there was.
I think I got to the point where I went, because it tells you, it's like, beyond this point, whatever you do will do something, and it tells you like you can't change. So I had a save point, and I know what I did. I went back to that save point when I finished one ending and seen how the outcome of another ending happened.
Yeah,
so I could get them all, just because I was like, I'm curious about how all these ended and stuff. And they're so different. Each one of them. That was brilliant.
And I can't wait to see what they do with the new one. I don't know when it's going to come out yet.
It'll be after Witcher 4. And that's not due out until probably earliest 2027, I think.
Not sure.
I know that they're in development of that at the moment. That's their next project.
Yeah, but did you see they announced because obviously they did the Edge Runners anime, and they said they were going to start working on something else, and they released something in conjunction with Wuthering Waves the other day, an announcement that they're doing a new collaboration with Wuthering Waves, which is set to launch in 2026 with Cyberpunk Edge Runners. So it does look like we're going to get a new animation, which would be good.
Yeah, I knew they were doing a new animation, and I knew that was coming out. We've also got the new one. They're leaking as well, and slightly topic change, but it's the Arcane, the next part of the League of Legends Arcane. I think it's Nexus, I think is what the project or the next part of it is. And there's some links of that being coming out lately as well, which will be great. And I reckon that will bring some stuff to the cosplay community, because obviously Arcane is massive within...
Very popular.
Very, very popular.
Yeah.
Hence why we want to do an event, which we still need to get sorted. And then so we got that side of it coming out. What else is it? Also, we had finally got the announcement for Across the Spider-Verse, the final film, which is June or July 27.
Oh, nice.
But I'm glad that they're taking the time with that film, because they're always changing the art style for that film, and that film is so unique. And each time they do it, they're always creating something new visually from an art perspective. I would prefer them to spend the time that they need to get it right,
do it justice,
and not half-ass it. Because at this point, this is the end of the Across the Spider-Verse Sony version of it all, and I want them to just, if they need to, just take all the time they need to do it right, instead of trying to go, right, here's the release date, let's rush it.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll be shit otherwise. And I'm just like, no, as much as I want to see it now, it's like, no, just take your time, especially with animation.
Yeah, it needs to be done right.
Definitely.
Just coming back to GTA 6. So I've been doing a little bit of looking whilst we've been chatting, and apparently it is still on for a fall 2025 release date. Rumours say to keep an eye on May the 15th for potentially some more information, because the parent company of Rockstar is due to do a new sort of quarterly earnings call, so we're expected to hear some more info.
It makes sense.
There are some concerns that the release date may slip into 2026. But you know what? We've waited so long for it.
Again, will it hurt?
It means that
a little bit longer.
Yeah, if it means they're going to push it out to 2026 because it won't quite be ready, then I'm all for it. If they're going to push it out to 2026 because they want to keep milking the 12-year-old daddy buy me a shark card online earnings from GTA 5, then I'm not all about that. But we'll see. Be interested to see what comes out.
So Annie, what is there anything you're looking forward to coming out? Either it could be anything: TV, film, game. I don't know. Shopping.
Shopping.
I don't know. I'm trying to be as subtle as possible without.
What a question! Oh God, I feel so out of touch with anything and everything. Honestly, I feel like I'm in such a bubble that I don't even know what's coming.
I've got a bit like that, and I've had to take probably the first part of this year to sort of reacquaint myself with what's out, what's coming out, what have I missed, what am I gonna miss if I don't sort my shit out. There seems to be a lot coming out in the next the first half of this year as well.
I'm looking. I'm googling. Although I was looking up GTA 6 and a meme's already popped up. We'll get a new pope before we get GTA 6.
Well, yeah, I mean, we will, but
Ballerina is the obvious one for me. I can't.
Ballerina, that'd be good. Which I spoke with Lolly about that thing as well, and she was like, "Yeah, well up for that."
Oh yeah, and Terry's messaging me every few days about Ballerina stuff. He's
What was that bar that they both went to in London? Because that would be a really good place if we could go.
It was down near Terry somewhere, so it was down sort of Kent, Essex way ish.
That was really cool from the photos that they took. Yeah. It's a bit off topic, a little bit.
I might message. I'll message Terry and ask him.
I think for me, for excitement, I've got Thunderbolts in a couple of weeks, which I've just put tickets for. That looks epic for me, but I like Winter Soldier and Yelena. That go wrong with a bit of Florence Pugh.
Yeah.
I don't know what else I'm really looking forward to. I think, if anything, I'm just looking forward to trying to get some shoot stuff done this year.
The biggest problem is all of this new cool stuff that's coming out is coming out when I should be outside shooting in the nice weather.
Yeah. I think that's probably why I'm looking forward to shooting more. It's just like working on projects that are coming up or bits and pieces. I think it's more what I'm looking forward to this year.
I'm looking at like what games are coming. I'm just trying to see like what else is even coming out.
I don't even know. I've not even been in touch with
games. There's a huge amount coming out gaming wise. I think it's mainly like TV show, movies. There's a few bits of gaming coming out that we've already mentioned, like Spine and stuff like that. This year.
They're doing a second arc.
Yeah. I never played the first one, but I know it had
I'm a big like survival games. That's my vibe. So I quite like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Is that already out?
No idea.
No. There's nothing that's like particularly grabbing me. I'm not gonna lie. No. Civ 7. Oh Jesus, no.
Yeah, apparently Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 was February this year.
Oh, it has already come out. That's meant to be good. I've only seen gameplay of it, but.
So outside of crafting then and bits and pieces, what other sort of hobbies and interests grab your attention then, Annie? You know?
Obviously, I love exercising. I just love it so much.
Yeah.
That's a lie. I don't love it, but it's my routine. So working out is, I mean, to be fair, that's more of a thing for me mentally than it is physically.
I'd agree with that.
So that is a massive thing for me. So keeping fit.
Yeah.
I go for a walk every day for an hour after work. I mean, I'm like the most OCD routine person in the universe. I will literally wake up, do a workout, have a shower, work, go for a walk, have my dinner, cosplay.
Making me
feel back around again.
And then I'll do it all over again. I do game. I do stream on Twitch when I get time. But obviously that has completely fallen off the face of the earth while I've been doing all my crafting. But I tend to stream with other gamers just because I quite like the social aspect of it. We just have a giggle. There's probably not much gaming actually happening because we're just pissing about and having a good laugh.
I've noticed because generally whenever you're streaming, if I'm playing, generally I'll be like, oh, she's playing. I'll put you on the other screen and I'll be on the PlayStation still, and I'm like, oh, there she is.
It's just me laughing.
And just I'm just generally listening to you chuckling away to yourself.
Pretty much, but it's just a nice escape, isn't it?
What I love about your workout stuff that you post online, though, Annie, is that like the way you keep it real. Like you show the highs and the lows. Like there's too many people out there that are all about the shots in the gym when they're like all pumped and they're looking their best. And, you know, as with anything of that nature, there's highs and there's lows, and it can be bloody tough sometimes. And, you know, there's quite a lot of that you share where you sort of like show the real side of it all, I think.
Going off that is that you did a really good story last week where it was all about the angles and lighting that you did. And I thought, do you know what? Fair dues to you, because that was a really good one. It's, in some ways, for some people, it's very vulnerable to be able to go, okay, yeah, look.
Get my belly out.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. So there is that whole vulnerable side to it. And, you know, a big props to you for doing that and sharing that with people. That's not an easy thing.
I think it's so important because as someone, I'm not going to call myself a model because I don't like calling myself a model, but as someone who does shoots and stuff, I naturally compare myself to every other person I see on my Instagram feed. So I've obviously follow a lot of photographers, a lot of like boudoir glamour kind of models. In my opinion, they are all like perfect. So as someone who aspires and wants to be like people I see, it's important to me that you show the real person behind it, because actually, as you could see in my videos, and you know it as photographers, like literally you can completely change the look of a person by changing the lighting, the angle that you're pointing the camera. Like I know my angles. If I'm taking my
Angled
stuff,
lighting
I
and
know it.
Photoshop. It's as simple as that. You know, there's naturally flattering angles and lighting. There's naturally unflattering lighting and angles. You know, there are the odd exception, but you know, you can make anybody look a million times better in real life than they actually do, and you can make somebody look a million times worse in real life. You know, but people believe too much, I think, about what they see online as gospel and real. When in actual fact, 90% of what we see online is just what somebody wants us to see. It's not very often that people let us see all sides of them, and I think that's really important.
Yeah. And that's why I try to. I don't do it all the time, because naturally I want you guys to see the best of me. I don't want to post pictures where I look like shit. Like so, but I do think there are a lot of people out there that don't show that vulnerable side, and maybe don't show them not at their best, and actually, oh well. And I think for a lot of, even in like the cosplay community, you'll get, you know, young people that come in the community, they want to look good in pictures and stuff, and actually they're looking at edited pictures that probably have so much photoshopping. I mean, I'm really particular with, especially the photographer I work with regularly. I don't like lots of editing, because I am a curvy girl. I've got stretch marks, I've got cellulite. I'm not ashamed of that. And I don't want people to have these unrealistic expectations because of what they see, when it's just not reality.
I think as well, you know, 9 times out of 10 in the real world, people would rather see a more realistic image of someone.
Yeah.
I mean, I had this conversation with a friend of mine, and a couple of people, a specific friend of mine, around social media and engagement and reach and likes numerous times now. And we've said it till we're both blue in the face, that you can shoot a really professional, clean image, impeccable lighting, loads of smoothing in Photoshop, and it'll get 100 likes. That same model can post a bathroom mirror selfie and it'll get 5,000 likes. And it is because it's real. People have that realistic connection. And me and my friend Shalimar have kind of become a little bit obsessed with the whole idea. To the point where we're actually planning a project later this year where we're shooting a couple of cosplayers literally doing the most boring, mundane tasks, brushing their teeth, doing the ironing, doing the laundry, like some in cosplay, some out cosplay. And we're going to shoot it in quite a cinematic, but just a boring, mundane way, just to see what engagement it has on socials. And then we're also going to do another set where, you know, almost like some multiple sets where there's a similar thing, but during a con weekend. So some stuff in the hotel room before they get ready and after and things like that. And just
it's almost like the day in the life of.
Yeah, just some really boring, mundane stuff. Just to see what kind of engagement it has. And I think it will do quite well. I think people will lap it up because it's everyday stuff. It's real. It's relatable. And people seem to be able to connect with it more. So yeah, we're really looking forward to that. But yeah, it is important to show the real side, because it's very easy to get bogged down in all the fake Photoshop and it's not healthy for people to see all the time, particularly new people.
Even young people seeing it and go like, I need to look like this, or I need to do it this way, or I need to do that because X is doing this, X, Y is doing that, and it's showing that natural stuff as well.
Yeah.
You know, everyday stuff is to say the realistic of this is this.
Yeah,
it's like I know when
that's one thing I will say about the UK con scene, in terms of like photography and image style, is that the the UK, the way the editing style of a lot of photographers and what people want in the UK is actually quite simple. And there's people out there that do amazing composites, but you move to somewhere like the US and Europe, and the look is totally different. It's all like porcelain skin, anime doll, kind of look, and that's what they go for over there. That's like the norm. That's their look.
But that goes back to the style again as well. When you're choosing what photographer or what model you want to shoot with, and what styles and stuff, that comes down to that as well.
Yeah, but it is very much like that sort of over in Europe and over in America, because that was the biggest learning curve for me when I shot at Volta last year, was getting used to a different way of working and editing, where I've kind of got to go quite a bit further with the edits and I would normally go than what I like to do, because I don't like to go too far with like skin smoothing, don't like to do body editing and things like that. But
no, I don't like body editing.
No, it seems to be a lot more the norm as soon as you get out of the UK. But yeah, it's just quite interesting. I think that's an interesting topic in itself, actually, talking about the different photo and editing styles in sort of Europe and the US compared to the UK.
Yeah, because I know for me personally, I have this whole rule about not changing someone's appearance.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask, as photographers, do you get people request it?
I have had it.
Okay. I'm just.
But it's something that I do refuse, because I am very much like in the mindset, especially when I come around to doing like lingerie or boudoir shoots. Yeah. I want to capture someone as they are, not like go and do a shoot and go, right, yeah, let's change this or change that and make this big or make that smaller and skinny. I'd rather capture something that's real in that sense.
And I'd have to question, if you weren't comfortable in your own skin, should or why would you want to shoot that kind of stuff if you aren't happy with what you're working with?
Yeah, there are people out there. I mean, there's people out there that I've had disagreements with over edits. You know, when I've been quite clear at the start, this is my style, this is what I do, this is what I won't do. And then afterwards they've gone, oh, can I have this? And I'm like, I don't do that. And they're like, yeah, but I that's the only way I like the way I look in this type of shot. And I get there's people out there with like body dysmorphia and things like that, but it's just weird. If you've got a photographer that said, I don't do this, and then you go, yeah, okay, and then afterwards still argue and say, can you do this?
Yeah,
shoot someone else. But yeah, I can't imagine it's that healthy for someone that has that issue with the way they look to shoot that type of image. When they know they're going to have to ask for a lot of editing in order to. It must be.
I worked with a photographer. I think I did a random studio shoot with someone. It's quite a long time ago now. I think I won it. I think it was a competition. And to be fair, a lot of the pictures he did were amazing. He over edited, like it was literally like porcelain skin, and I was like, "This is disgusting, it ain't me." But we were talking, and he said that he gets girls that literally want to be completely edited, and I just think, what? And they're like, "But it's a gift for my husband, and I want him to see me." And like, but that's not what you look like. Yeah, I don't know.
He sees you every day. Look, when you wake up. I mean,
he's gonna say you're a catfish, honey. If you, I just really struggle. I get the odd tweaks. Don't get me wrong. Like obviously, I do a lot of self-taken content, and I will, if I've got a spot, I'm gonna get rid of it. If I've got a little bit of cellulite, then the light is shining right on it, I will hold my hands up. Of course, I'm gonna do something.
One thing, as we said, there's one thing to show the best version of yourself, but it's something else to be turned into something you are completely not.
No. If a photographer said to me, "Oh, I think I'm really funny about my belly," and they're like, "Oh, it's fine, I can do something to that," and I'm like, "No, we'll just find a better angle that is flattering, and then I don't have that issue." Like, and that's where I'm not always very good at knowing my angles and my body, but that's a two-way thing.
Because it's less me when I'm editing.
Of course it is, and that's why I think it's important that you're always, like for me, I'm always like, let me look at the back of the camera, let me see what pictures we've got, because if I'm not happy, what I don't want to, I've had it, one of the first sort of boudoir shoots I didn't see a single picture until I got the edits back, and I cried. because I hated every single picture and I cried and it was horrendous. I don't know how the hell I managed to get, but so for me, I'd be that annoying person that's like, oh, can I just have a look? Can I have a look? Because I'll just say, dude, that's awful. I look like a whale. Let's change up the angle. Because you guys aren't necessarily looking at what I'm looking at. You're looking at overall composition. You're looking at lighting.
Lighting is.
I'm looking at, do I look like I'm huge? So it's so important that you have that two-way dialogue that I think a lot of people.
I agree, and it's not just in a boudoir sense, but I'm a massive fan of showing someone the back of a camera, like through the whole process, because in boudoir I will find if I show someone, especially someone who's nervous, who's not really done it before, if I show them what they're looking like, and if they look at that and they go, "Oh shit, that's me," and they're like hyped up,
I look good.
Yeah. Do you know what?
That hypes you up.
It hypes them up so much so that, do you know what? The rest of that shoot, they just start rolling and they feel comfortable, and that ease is there, that pressure's off. So for me, I transferred that into cosplay photography as well. I love showing someone the photos, because if it hypes you up, then that hypes me up. And if I get hyped, I get excited, and then you get excited, then everything's rolling. And you just have this really quite fun dynamic then. And it makes it an enjoyable experience for photographer and model. That's what I love about it. So
I think also as well, I think also with some of the stuff that's been going on recently in the community, that's quite a good tip for any new photographers out there that, you know, communicate with the cosplayer or the model and constantly keep showing them what you're shooting. Not only will you be able to improve between you on what you're shooting, but it'll make them feel safer. It'll make them realize you're not shooting anything you shouldn't, not taking dodgy pictures of their feet or like that.
I've done that, but not on purpose. You know, like sometimes when you touch the screen of your camera and it just takes a shot. The amount of freaking floor shots and feet shots I get is like,
hey, leave my feet alone. I could get good money for that.
They're not. That's my feet, not anyone else's. No one wants to see them. But there's also another thing I do as well when I'm looking at the back of the camera. So sometimes, you know, you get a shot and you pose as someone, and you go, okay, something's not quite working. You get asked someone to either lift the chin up, move that slightly to angle left or right, or change that arm position or whatever that position is. And you've taken a shot and you look, you go, that doesn't look right, and you get to change it. What I like to do is I go, right, okay, here's the photo we did before. And you see here, and then this is where we're doing one after the posing. And then you see them go, it clicks, and they go, right, I get you, because they're seeing it. So then they can then adjust that as they go through the rest of the shoot. Then.
Yeah, if it's someone that doesn't understand lighting or posing too well, it's a great thing to do.
Yeah, especially with lighting, it's like, okay, so we put the light in here, and then you move it for the next shot, and you go to them and go, look, this is what I did, and this is the reason I did it, and then they see a visual sign of it. Like Annie was saying, that like, you'll look at yourself, and they'll go, oh shit, yeah, that moving the light from directly or to side on or a different angle, up or lower, and stuff like that. People will then get a gap and go, yeah, it's really quite cool, and I can see what you've done. Then it just helps them be part of that process, I feel.
It's a learning process, because if you're not everyone's a model or has experience being in front of a camera. A lot of people do it as a hobby and they just want a few pictures, but they're going to remember if you're saying to them, oh, well, I've just done this and we've changed this. They'll remember that, because that's how I've learned what to do, because it's normally from having photographers that say, oh, Annie, just put your chin up, like classic couple of chins going on here. But then you remember those things. So the next time I'm like, oh, I must remember to have my chin up. So it helps them as well.
And also another one on that is also, if a photographer's demoing the pose as well, laugh at them. If it's funny, laugh, because I tell you what, that will always break the ice. That's what I find especially when I'm doing like one-on-one, like especially in situations like in boudoir or lingerie. It's like I will do the feminine poses if someone's not quite understanding what they are, and I will be more than happy to make a tit and a fool of myself in a pose, because then I always find it makes the model feel a little bit more at ease, because it's like, oh, if this guy can do it and he's not flexible as shit, and he's doing it, then I can do it. You know, it just breaks down that wall of feeling anxious, and just allows you to both work together and feel comfortable in some respects.
Cool. Well,
I
think that probably brings us close to it.
I was going to say, I'm like, sure, that's more than an hour.
Yeah, that's a lot.
An hour 40.
Yeah.
At this rate, which is gonna be a nice edit for me because it's just rolled on.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the time, thinking, have I got enough time to go and watch The Last of Us season 2, episode 2?
Episode
Yeah.
1. Yeah, you've got
I
time.
need to start. I'm gonna just have to suck up and do it on the iPad. I think that's what I did
It's
with the
like-
last season. To be fair, I actually just watched it all on the iPad.
Each,
I sit and watch a lot of my
episodes are
TV
an hour long as well.
Oh, so I could get one in and maybe make some crumpets. I'm hungry.
Crumpets, nice.
What are crumpets?
Oh, crumpet, I love
I love
crumpet.
a crumpet, yeah, and some crisps.
I
Obviously,
watch a lot
I'm
of things
talking
on iPad as
about
well
food.
because my iPad's literally underneath my monitor, so I put things on there all the time.
Well,
Right.
Suppose,
Okay.
suppose we'll end the episode there. It has been a bit of a random one, a bit here, there, and everywhere. We did plan to do a different episode as we did, so you will see Annie again when we can get Chloe.
then we'll
Whatever
get
that
the
is.
good stuff.
Thank you very much, Annie, for going along with our random bullshit as usual.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Always
It's a lovely time.
Always love having you on. And I have been Switch_GN. Podcast partner is iPhoto UK. And for the podcast stuff, you can find us all at Cosplay Togs and all things nerdy on most or all platforms. If not, just type in Cosplay Togs and you'll find us. And then, Annie, where can people find you on?
Oh my God. Littlemissaniekins is my handle. So I used to be Lollipop Anakin. So most people now probably know me as Littlemissaniekins. That is my handle, I think, on everything. I think X or Twitter, whatever it is, that might still be Lollipop Anakin, but I've got a website. It's on my Instagram. Just go on there, and then you'll find it. You'll find everything else on there, and a lot of other stuff.
Yes, other stuff. Or as I like to quote a good friend of ours, it's like, "Oh, good heavens!" That's what I normally get whenever that comes along. Anyhow, again, thanks for coming on, and obviously look forward to seeing you at MCM.
Yay! Cool. Thanks,
And
guys.
until next time, we'll catch you all later. Bye for now.